What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got some football focus. The Pittsburgh Steelers just finished their Week 18 matchup, the end of the regular season, as Pittsburgh was playing at home for their playoff lives against the Cleveland Browns, and again, the Week 18 final week of the season. Pittsburgh needed three things to happen to get into the playoffs. They had to beat the Browns today at home. The Jets had to beat the Miami Dolphins, both playing with third-string quarterbacks, and the Buffalo Bills had to beat the New England Patriots, all for the Steelers to get that 7th seed. Pittsburgh also comes in at 8-8 this week, trying to finish 9-8, meaning Mike Tomlin once again gets a winning season. He's never had a losing season, so that was on the line as well. So a lot of stakes, a lot of heartaches, a lot of tension, a lot of heart attacks. And this game was definitely no shortage of that for me as well either. I thought Pittsburgh coming in was the favorites, considering how well they played in the second half of this season. But the game started off with just a lot of drama. I will talk about the referees in this game. I usually don't do that, but I will do that this week. Pittsburgh comes down, gets a good opening drive, and a drive that should have been a touchdown ends in a fumble. And immediately my heart's just going, this is going to be one of those games that Cleveland's going to hang around and it's going to be a lot of heart attacks, and that's what it was. But all in all, I have to commend the Steelers on finishing strong. Another good, strong week, another good, strong divisional win, another good ending to the roll of what has happened in the second half of the season. Pittsburgh gets the win in this game, 28-14, moves their record to 9-8, finishes the second half of the season at 7-2. The final 9 games of the year, 7-2. Kenny Pickett wins his final 6 starts. The only loss we had in the last 7 weeks was the game that Pickett started but only played one drive or even 1 or 2 plays. Got hurt, and Trubisky came in playing Baltimore in Baltimore about 5 weeks ago. Was the only game that we lost. Pittsburgh losing to Baltimore by 2 after Trubisky threw 3 interceptions in the red zone. So aside from that game, Pittsburgh gets on a heavy roll. Pickett wins his last 6 starts, and you got to feel very enthused about next season. I don't want to come across too negative because we got the win here, but I'll let you guys basically know what happened. Pittsburgh beats Cleveland. We hold up our end of the bargain. Buffalo beats the Patriots. They hold their end of the bargain. And the Dolphins and Jets game is 6-6, tied up to 20 seconds left in the game until Miami's field goal kicker makes a 50-plus yard field goal to get up 9-6, and then the Dolphins get a safety as the Jets try and come back at the very end. So the Dolphins win their game 11-6 in the battle of Skylar Thompson versus Joe Flacco. And Flacco hurts us once again, just like he did in Baltimore. The Jets lose. Miami gets the win, so they're going to limp into the playoffs in that 7th seed, meaning Pittsburgh, in spite of the win, does not get into the playoffs. And that's okay. Again, there's a lot of good things to look at in this game overall. Before I talk about the stats on either side of the game, I want to discuss the referees. You guys know my philosophy on this channel is not to talk about one particular play too much or one particular game too much, or especially the refereeing, because a lot of things are handled on the field and the players have to make up for a lot of what the referees do. So I don't focus on refereeing too much on this channel, but my God, this was by far the worst refereed game of the season that I saw. And not all just because of us either. It was badly refereed on both sides. What a poorly officiated game this was. They should be ashamed and they should be fined. First things first, Pittsburgh drives the field, gets a good opening drive going. Najee Harris gets in on a 6 or so yard touchdown run. He goes down, keeps his knee up, extends the knee, extends the ball across the goal line. Obvious touchdown. Referees call it short. Pittsburgh then makes the mistake of not challenging the play. Pickett goes for a sneak and the Cleveland gets a stop. And then on the 3rd down and goal that should have been a touchdown, Najee goes to jump it over and fumbles the ball before he gets over the plane. So Cleveland gets the ball. So Pittsburgh, on an obvious 1st and goal touchdown, winds up getting a fumble and turning the ball over. So we get no points on what should have been a sure 7-0 start to the game. Again, Pittsburgh gets part of the blame there because they didn't challenge what was an obvious touchdown. They tried, if they figured, okay, we're inside the 1, we're going to get it on one of these next 2 plays. No sense risking losing a timeout. But it was clearly a touchdown and wound up being a turnover and taking 7 points off the board for us in a very important game. So that was the first big bad call. Later in the game, George Pickens makes an excellent sideline toe tap catch, doing what he always does, right? Going up and getting those hands catches. Pickett makes a nice throw down the sidelines, one-on-one. Pickens makes the beautiful catch, taps those toes, and one of the best catches I've seen all year, and the referees call it out of bounds. Replay shows that it clearly was not, and it was under 2 minutes, so this one was up to the booth to challenge. They didn't even look at it. So I say the officials in the booth let us down on that one. Third and finally, Cam Hayward gets a sack. And again, that Pickens play would have been a first down, which resulted in not being a first down. We had to punt the ball away, so that cost us what could have been points as well. Actually, I think it might have resulted in a field goal. So instead of being first down in the 20-yard line, we had to kick a longer field goal, I believe. And it obviously cost us points. So that could have been another 4 points they cost us there. Of course, that's up to conjecture. We don't know if we would have scored or not. But we got a field goal instead of a possible touchdown. So, and then finally, Cam Hayward gets a sack on a Cleveland, I think it was 2nd and goal, puts Cleveland back about 7 or 8 extra yards. They call roughing the passer. I have no idea how they called that. Cam, he did, forcefully put the guy on the ground, but Deshaun Watson was trying to break the tackle. He was trying to spin out for a run. Cam gets the sack, and they call roughing the passer on a bad play that results in an automatic first down. Instead of being a 3rd and goal from longer, it winds up being a 1st and goal from closer, which Cleveland then punches in on a I think it was a Chubb touchdown catch. So that cost us as well. Now on Cleveland's side, they got a few gripes also. There was one play where Deontay Johnson was given the flag for defensive pass interference, in which I didn't see much pass interference. They said he turned him around when really I don't think he did. So that was a bad call. And also there was a sack we got where I think it was Cam Hayward had the guy's face, or no, it was Larry Ogunjobi had the guy's face mask, pulled Deshaun Watson down by his face mask, and it wasn't called. Should have been a 15-yard penalty. So for as bad as the calls were against us, there were a couple of bad calls against Cleveland as well. So poorly officiated game. But let's get to the stats. Offensively, Kenny Pickett, pedestrian day, but got it done. 13 of 29, not great completions there. 13 of 29, 195 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. Najee Harris, 23 carries. Well, I guess we'll talk about the Kenny Pickett play today. I think this was Kenny Pickett's weakest game in a while. Of this 6-game stretch, I wasn't terribly impressed with the way he played in this game. Probably his weakest game at the end of the season. Missed several guys. A couple of downfield plays. Once Deontay Johnson was running pretty open, missed him. There was another play to Pat Freiermuth where Freiermuth got open on the sidelines and Pickett threw to the inside instead of the outside. That caused the pass breakup. There was another one down the middle of the field where Freiermuth was getting open. Tight play, but way overthrown. Another third down play was overthrown. Pickett seemed like he was a little antsy in the middle of the field. All of his middle of the field throws were high. There was another one that he had Connor Hayward in the back of the end zone for a touchdown where Hayward had his fingertips on it, but it was just way too high in the back of the end zone. That was an overthrow. What else? There was a couple other ones too. My goodness, Pickett really felt like he was just antsy and just throwing the ball high and throwing the ball too far to the inside and stuff like that. 1 or 2 plays should have gotten picked by Cleveland, actually, that weren't. So, not the best game from Kenny Pickett, but he does answer when he needs to. He came down, had a beautiful drive. When Cleveland got down by only 6, they got back to within 1 score. Pickett drove down and converted 3 third downs, 2 of which to Connor Hayward and 1 to George Pickens. That were really, really excellent. That drive then was a handoff play to Derek Watt for the go-ahead touchdown, and then the 2-point conversion play in the back of the end zone to Deontay Johnson. So Pickett converting big plays, making strong throws. Also, at the end of the first half, when Pittsburgh's down 7-0, Kenny Pickett drives down for his touchdown pass to George Pickens. Beautiful middle of the field play where he found him downfield, strong arm. We're seeing at the end of the half, the end of the game, the clutch plays, the third down conversions, what Kenny Pickett can be. And even though this wasn't his strongest game, he still had some very strong moments in the clutch, just like he has the last 2 weeks for his game-winning touchdown drives in the fourth quarter. So by and large, I really love what I'm seeing out of Kenny Pickett. In spite of the fact this wasn't his best game, I love what I'm seeing. Najee Harris, another strong game, 23 carries, 84 yards, and a touchdown, and a fumble that should have been a touchdown. Najee drives it down, gets a nice touchdown run in this game. Again, should have had a second touchdown. Wasn't called by the refs, wasn't challenged by the Steelers. Then 2 plays later, he tries to jump it over and fumbles before he gets across the goal line. So it'll go down as 84 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 fumble. Should be 2 touchdowns and no fumbles. I'm not going to hold that fumble against Najee because that shouldn't have happened. Jalen Warren, another solid day, 6 carries, 36 yards. And then Derek Watt with the go-ahead touchdown on the fullback handoff on the not like an end around, but kind of a wide fullback handoff where they fake the motion across. They fake as if they're going to go wide to the halfback and then hand off to a looping fullback inside. They used that play several times today nicely. Once to Gunnar Olszewski for a first down, once to Steven Sims for a 12-yard run, and once to Derek Watt for the go-ahead touchdown. Nice usage of that play today. Running the ball, again, Najee Harris, very, very strong today. Gets about 4 yards a carry at 23 for 84, running hard, jumping over guys in the pile, had another 10 yards on the ground. Jaylen Warren also had a really nice play for it was a third down conversion where he took like a 2-yard pass, caught a high ball, curved back inside, ran through a guy and got a first down. So Jaylen Warren making his presence felt too. Also had a fumble though where he dropped a pitch and recovered it. So Pittsburgh did recover it, so it didn't go down as a fumble. That was his one bad play. But overall, Najee and Warren, what a second half of the season. What an effective way to use Jaylen Warren in this system. What a 7-game turnaround for Najee Harris, who started off very badly. I love where this running game is going. George Pickens, 3 catches, 72 yards, and a touchdown. Had a beautiful downfield play one-on-one where he caught the ball on the sidelines. Another kind of in and out play to the sidelines where he caught another nice pass. There was another one that he caught, that toe drag play that was a catch. So really he should have had over 100 yards on the day, but the one was not called correctly. The referees seem to miss a couple of plays with him every single week. But George Pickens, 3 for 72. What a strong game for him. Beautiful touchdown on the middle of the field play where he lost his defender and caught the wide open play as well. Love what George Pickens is doing. Target this guy more. I'm going to say it again. Connor Hayward winds up playing a lot because Pat Freiermuth gets hurt in the fourth quarter. Connor Hayward, 3 catches, 45 yards. 2 beautiful third down conversion plays down the field. One's for 15 yards down the field and one's for about 10 yards down the field. Connor Hayward just making the quick move in the middle, getting good body positioning, going up. The one he had to turn his body around and go up strong and make the play. The other one was a nice slant play. And then he also, like I said, got himself open in the back of the end zone, got good box-out body positioning, and really should have had it. It was on the tips of his fingers, but it was too high by Pickett. So should have really been a touchdown there as well. So I cannot give Connor Hayward enough shout out because he played very well in relief of Pat Freiermuth. And I know that Zach Gentry is a decent pass catcher as well. He's okay, but really good blocker, our best blocking tight end. But I really want to see some 2 tight end sets with Pat Freiermuth and Connor Hayward catching the ball out there on the ends of the line because they both have a lot of ability. And it's good to see not only can Hayward come in and fill in for Freiermuth when he gets hurt, but he can make such important red zone plays, such important third down conversions. Got to give that guy a lot of props. Deontay Johnson, I want to talk about for the other reason. Has 2 catches for 38 yards, but 3 drops in this game. The first was a wide receiver screen where he was wide open and just dropped it. Just point blank, nobody on him, just dropped it. Another play was he was coming across the middle, made a catch, made a football move, and then dropped it. It was initially called a fumble and then called back. So thankfully he didn't catch it and fumble it, but he did drop it again. Was wide open in the middle of the field and couldn't corral it. So that's another drop. And then there was another one where he was downfield in the end zone, got himself open in the corner of the end zone. It was a nice play by the defender. The defender got his arm in there and strifed the ball out, but should have been caught. It was good body positioning, very good ball, underrated throw by Kenny Pickett, and Deontay gets his hands on it and couldn't come down with it. So I count that as a third drop. So 2 catches, 3 drops, and I think I'm missing another one as well, but I do not like Deontay's game this week. Another catch he did make, one of his 2 catches, he came back to the ball and came too far back and didn't get himself the first down that he should have. So I think a bad game for Deontay in spite of his 2 good plays. Ending the season with at least 3, if not 4 drops, reminds you of how he's been the last 2 years. He's so wildly inconsistent. He is one of the biggest question marks I have coming into next season. I know he's going to be here. I know he got a contract extension, and I know when he's high, but his lows are very low, and he cost us on several plays in this game. He's dropping some really important ones. When you're open like that, or when you're in the end zone, you have to make those plays, and when you catch the ball short of the sticks, you have to get across the line. So a lot of head-scratching plays out of Deontay today. Defensively, I love what this defense was doing. Very reminiscent of last week, taking a really good running team and just making them kind of average. Nothing early on for Cleveland whatsoever. 7 points in the first half, and that's about it. Second half, the running game did open up a little bit, much like it did in Baltimore, but Pittsburgh getting a lot of sacks, getting a lot of pressures. Outside corners playing very well, holding the outside receivers like Peoples-Jones and Amari Cooper to very little, even corralling David Njoku, who had the most catches and played the best for them receiving, but corralling him for the most part. 7 sacks out of this defense today. Alex Highsmith gets 2.5. Cam Hayward gets 2, plus the third one that was called back on the penalty, so really 3 for him. Terrell Edmonds gets 1, Larry Ogunjobi gets 1, and TJ Watt gets 0.5. Only a half sack, but is also very present in getting to the quarterback. He's only going to show as a half sack, but in reality, he got 4 or 5 really big hits, and so many guys were sharing hits today. So cannot say enough good things about Watt, Highsmith, and Cam. They were all over the pressure today. Very good stuff. Ogunjobi got in the backfield a few times. DeMarvin Leal got in the backfield a few times. I like what I saw out of him today. Montravis Adams got a tackle or 2 in the backfield on the running backs. I love this front 7. And we're still kind of trying to figure out a few guys, right? We're trying to figure out what to do about the other inside linebacker spot. We're trying to figure out what to do about the D-tackle spot. Does that go to Leal? Does that go to Wormley? Does that go to Loudermilk? What do you do with that spot, right? Ogunjobi, there's so many guys that are vying. Tyson Alualu. So there are things to figure out, but those guys are playing well. 2 interceptions today, both very good. 1 for Levi Wallace, 1 for DeMonte KZ. Both jump in the route very excellently. Wallace was a little bit inconsistent early in the season, but I like how he's played at the end of the year. He has had a strong 6-game run to end this season. He jumped a pass brilliantly at the end of the first half to set us up for a field goal to put us ahead at the end of the first half. Those are the kind of plays your defense wants to make. DeMonte KZ has played healthy in these last couple of games. He didn't play much early in the year because of injuries, but him being out there in the 3 safety sets with Minkah Fitzpatrick and Terrell Edmonds, he's got strong ball skills. He's around the ball a lot, and I like DeMonte KZ a whole lot. Can't say enough good things about this defense, holding Cleveland to 14 points. Playing strong all day. A couple of those penalties shouldn't have been called on us, but I like what I'm seeing on both sides of the ball, right? Kenny Pickett, again, looking downfield more often, looking strong in the middle of the field, looking strong in clutch moments, converting third downs, getting clutch touchdowns. The running game with Najee and Warren, excellent stuff. George Pickens getting targeted more, excellent stuff. Even without Freiermuth today having his weakest game, not doing much early and then getting hurt late, but Connor Hayward filling in beautifully. You like to see that. Deontay Johnson has to get it together. But the offensive line has played very well overall in the scheme of things in this last second half of the season, the last 6 to 8 games. There was one bad downfield penalty, illegal man downfield for Kevin Dotson, and there was a couple of times that I think it was Dan Moore got abused by Myles Garrett, but Myles Garrett is one of the top 3 DNs or outside linebackers in the entire NFL, so it's hard to hold that against him too much. Defensively, again, when TJ Watt's out there, look at the difference. Look at even when TJ Watt's not getting on the stat sheet, even when TJ Watt's playing hurt like he did when he first came back in the second half of the season. Pittsburgh 7-2 in their last 9, and even if Watt's not on the stat sheet, everyone gets better. Cam Hayward has had a crazy good second half. DeMarvin Leal has showed a lot. Ogunjobi has showed a lot. Highsmith is so much better when Cam's out there. This whole team plays better when Cam's out there. Big shout-outs to the outside corners. Levi Wallace and Cam Sutton have had a very good overall season, but especially this second half. What a second half for these guys. Another guy I want to give a shout-out to that goes unsung is Presley Harvin. 3 punts for 144 yards here, nearly a 50-yard punt average again this week, including one inside the 5 or 6 yard line, definitely inside the 10. Another good day for Harvin. I know that he had one really bad game this season and about 2 overall bad games, but I think more often than not, Harvin's played well, and he gets jumped on when he has a few bad punts like that 16-yarder early in the year, but he does not get enough credit when he has good games like he has for the last 5 or 6 in this season. So Presley Harvin impresses me. Boswell played overall very well again today. He's had a better season than not this year. Mike Tomlin's another guy I want to give credit to. Tomlin comes in this year with the draft wasn't always the best for us in going after our offensive line. There was a lot of upheaval, a lot of trades, a lot of guys injured this year. The offensive line was a big question. Could Najee fill in? Could Warren be useful this year? How are we going to do with Kenny Pickett, right? This was Tomlin's first year without Big Ben in the post-Big Ben era. And Mike Tomlin, once again, rallies to 9-8. Now, again, that's a lot to do with the players, but Mike Tomlin, once again, finds a way to win just like he did with Mason Rudolph when Ben wasn't in, has his first full non-Big Ben season, wins with Kenny Pickett, shows great improvement at the end of the year. This team looks like they probably should have gotten in the playoffs this year, if not for the Jets having the third-string quarterback in. But we come that close to getting in the playoffs. But I will take 7-2 to end the year. I will take 9-8. Another winning season for Tomlin. Drastic improvement for the offensive line, the running game, the rookie quarterback, the pressure when Watt's in there, the corners looking better in coverage, the penalties lessening. Everything looks better for the Steelers to end the season, and everything looks up for next season. Plus, Pittsburgh has several good draft picks, including the one for Chase Claypool. So what do you think of the season in review? I'll bring you guys a full review later on. But all in all, in spite of falling short because of another team, that's why you don't let other teams in control your destiny. But we did our part today. We got another nice win to end the season, and all the momentum in the world is on Pittsburgh's side for a bright future with a potential franchise quarterback who looks pretty good. Go Steelers. The reviews will come back next season, but the Steeler coverage is going to be going the entire time. Don't go anywhere. If you like this Steeler coverage, I'm going to have draft videos, player profiles, season reviews, positional breakdowns. I'm doing it all. Go Steelers, and I'll see you guys soon.